The word iota has two distinct meanings. As a noun, 1. A tiny or scarcely detectable amount. 2. The ninth letter of the Greek alphabet.
Welcome to IoTA for Monday, August 8th, 2016. I am Tony Lynn. IoTA is a daily news podcast focused on the Internet of Things industry. And we talk about all things IoT, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. Anyway, welcome to Monday. I guess it's our fourth week starting this, so we're actually having a really good time now. So welcome, and we'll get right to some of the really cool stories of the day. Murata has just released their new battery source called UMAL, reports Jan Budine at Lector. The UMAL offers better life cycle than traditional batteries and has a slim form factor that makes it ideal for IoT. It has a charge capacity recovery rate of over 90% after 5,000 charging cycles. That's actually really impressive. I could probably bring up a picture of this and show you what I saw. And it's actually really cool. The device is really tiny, and part of the problems, and here we go, we're going to share it for you real quick. Part of the problems that you have in IoT is that the fact of it is that it has to be low powered, or you don't really get the opportunity to do a lot of high data type stuff. The whole point of the IoT is get the device as small as possible, and therefore the smaller the device, the less power it has, the less things it can do. But a lot of people, and we reported on an article just last week of where they're trying to do like almost supercomputer type abilities in some of these devices, which in itself is a pretty cool idea. You just have to think that, where's all this power coming from? So something like this is actually a really nice advancement. So you can see how big that thing is. It's really not that large. Actually, I can probably pump it up a little bit for you. Oh, wait. There we go. There we go. So as far as having additional battery capabilities, I think that's an awesome thing that you need in our industry. Austin Peay State University just received a grant from Google IoT to help firemen or help locate firemen inside of fires, reports Colin Harris. The GIS Center at APSU, and for those of you who don't know what GIS is, it's Geographical Information Systems. I actually spent a lot of time with that when I was in college myself. They're going to be working to incorporate beacons with each firefighter that can be used, just a common cell phone, basically a web app, or not an app, a mobile app on your phone can actually help locate the beacon. So if you have a distressed firefighter actually inside of a fire and you need to be able to find them, you can do so. Now, GIS is typically used to do tracts of land to actually outline property boundaries and things along those lines, although I used it in archaeology, and I'll tell that story at some point. So in these cases, they're able to, I guess, pick the log, or the track log, or the tract of land in which they're dealing with, and then send in help in order to help find, say, a missing fireman or missing first responder. This is a really cool idea. Now, I know firemen have always had these type of things that would actually send out sounds, but in this case, a sound sometimes can be not enough. And I think this is a really cool idea. David Curry of ReadWrite writes that using IoT for growing crops is picking up steam. Current attempts have benefited in better yield rates and reductions of water, soil, and seed that were needed. However, the cost of such devices exceeds the cost savings. There's a group out there called On Farm Systems, provides a grower dashboard for farmers. The grower dashboard itself actually ties into devices that they put into certain locations. Right now, the On Farm system they're using like single devices for a particular crop, and really they're doing a large data capture and then giving the farmer just the ability to make some more in-depth choices. I think as the systems come down in cost, you'll actually be able to have more devices per field and still have a lower cost. Now, they've got, I'm trying to remember if I can find it in the notes, they were charging something like between $100 and $500 per device on a monthly basis. That seems pretty steep, particularly since farmers' margins are so thin anyway. And until the cost savings exceeds the actual amount spent, then it's not going to catch up. But there is a really cool one that came out a month ago. It's talking about a farming robot. I'm actually going to pull that one up as well, just so you can see it. It was a really, really cool. I know I can't find it. A really cool way to do a farm, and I must have turned it down. So it's in the show notes, but it was basically a DIY farm that you could do yourself in a small plot using a robotic arm to actually do the watering, planting, the whole 9 yards. It's actually really cool. Check out the show notes for that. There's some really cool stuff there. All right, Clint Bolton at CIO reports that IoT security suffers from a lack of awareness. Now, I have to question that maybe these CIOs haven't been reading the same things that I've been reading over the past month, but certainly there is a huge awareness that IoT security is lacking currently. But the quote is this: one of the fundamental issues that faces the Internet of Things is knowing that they're there and giving them some identity, says Gartner analyst R.O. Perkins. You can't manage what you can't see. They go on to talk about the fact that CIOs and CTOs don't always understand or don't always know what devices are within their networks. And, I think even with the prevalency of BYOD that, started just a couple of years ago, that these CIOs are certainly more aware of things that are within their network now than they've ever been. And certainly with the IoT security being as lacking as it is, that I'm surprised that they would not know this. I think this is a little bit of clickbait for CIO trying to get CIOs and CTOs to actually read the article. I don't know. That seems kind of silly, but those kind of things happen. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about our pick of the day, and I do want to pull this one out. I was just saying it's really cool. Basically, let's see. Here we go. Mark Gibbs in Network World shows off the new Microduino M Cookie. The M Cookie is Microduino's second generation of Arduino-based IoT devices designed as a series of plastic modules that stack and lock together using magnets. The magnets ensure the modules align correctly so that the breakout pins, which are pogo pins, snazzy spring-loaded devices that ensure reliable positive contact, are correctly oriented. Even better, M Cookie modules are also physically compatible with Lego. All right, bring it on, guys. This allows you to use every nerd's favorite toy to build physical frameworks for mobility and physical support sensors. That's straight off of their website. But you can take a look here and see that these little devices, the little square-shaped that have all the pins kind of pre-done, and basically you can stack them on top of each other. So you have the reds or the cores, you have function modules that go on top of, you have communication modules, and you have extended modules, and you can mix and match them all up and down the systems. Now these devices sell these in kits, and the first kit I think is $99. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's a little bit further down. And then I think the second kit, the larger kit, which has all the other cool stuff, there's a kit there. Yeah, so it starts out at $99 and goes up to $199, and then they have a $299 as well. So you can sort of mix and match with this. I think this would be a very, very good thing to use for, say, high schoolers who are maybe interested in this. The robotics club met at my house last night for my son's team, and some of the stuff they're doing is really, really, advanced for the age that these guys are. So something like this, I think, is really cool. Now, I do think that there's a problem, and the guy at Network World actually says that the documentation on it is a little bit lacking, and that a lot of the problems that they're having tend to be USB based, and even on his Mac, he was having some trouble with it. But I do think it's worthwhile. Now, one of the things I want to start doing as part of this podcast over the next several weeks is that it's come up as part of my day job. What are all the possibilities for off-the-shelf boards that exist? And research I started leading me down a path of, oh my God, this is almost like trying to identify all of the Android devices that exist. It's almost impossible. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do like a board of the day where we outline, potential boards that you can use, any pros and cons that I can find on them, as well as to just educate myself and help educate you. And certainly the M Cookie would be one of those that would fit right into that. So we're going to continue this going forward, and if you have other story ideas, please let me know. All right, so if you, like I said, as always, you're enjoying what we're doing, feel free to go to patreon.com/Tunamuck and support us. If you have any feedback, any stories you might want to submit, You can send me anything at tonamuck@gmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Tonamuck, or any of my projects at www.tonamuck.com. So until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.